Hello class, this is Dr. Obsidia. Today I want to talk a little bit about the winter sale that's just come up. It's going to be running for the rest of this year and up to January 3rd of next year. So let's take a look at it. Go to the Steam website, Steam Powered. You can find the link in the description below of this video. And you can see the winter sale 2019 is starting here. Lots of great deals. We're going to take a look at just a few of them. And also you can join in the fun here. If you go to this, you can see they're doing a little event. You can get some stickers, or you can get a coupon if you get enough. If you spend money, you can get these tokens. Also, if you do some quests, you can get tokens. You can use these stickers for your chat. There's more coming up soon. You get an option for a profile that you can put in the background of your Steam distribution program. It's pretty nice that you can get some discount. I'm more big on the discounts than all the little tokens and stickers and things. So that's kind of my deal. Anyway, you know, saving money is always the way to go when you're trying to get these games. Now, most of the newer stuff doesn't have much of a sale, but if you get a game about a year, 2, 3, 4 years old, you're going to save quite a bit. Now you can see here Fallout 4, a super famous game. Popularity there is 73% positive reviews, and I've liked Fallout 3 and the other things that came out after that, you know, New Vegas, and then also Fallout 4. So it's only 10,000 won, and of course if you're not in Korea, that's going to translate to about $10 Korean money. If you're not familiar with it, the best way to know what it's going to be is just to translate it by removing the comma, or just putting a dot where the comma would be and translating dollars. That's about the quick and dirty way to do it. Since I'm running the Korean won, you can see that that's what I can see here. But 70% off is a good deal. Dark Souls is a great game too. I might end up streaming Dark Souls 1 just to introduce that, but Dark Souls 3 already is 75% off. What a great deal. Scrolling down, you can see some other really great games here that they're offering, and I'm going to highlight just a few of them. If you like turn-based strategy, I can't recommend XCOM 2 enough. XCOM 1 was an amazing game, and XCOM 2 also is amazing, and other expansions are great. XCOM 1 has a great mod called Long War. Once you play the game through, you can play the Long War. It'll give you hundreds of hours. I have hundreds of hours into it. XCOM 2 does not have the Long War, but it does have the Steam Workshop, so there's plenty of mods to pick from. I highly recommend that game if you're into turn-based strategy, on, you know, classes and alien fighting and things. If you're not into turn-based strategy, maybe you're more into you know, third-person shooters or something, then I recommend the Middle-earth Shadows of War. I did introduce that on my channel, so you can go back and find the video for that. There's an earlier version as well. This is part 2 of their series. If you go into their website here, you can see the videos of it and see some of the screenshots and so on. One of the nice things here about it is you can get all their expansions and all their things in their package here, the definitive edition. And that's really what I would recommend. You know, it's got all the extra stuff with it. So you can see here the Middle-earth Shadows of War, and then it's got the story expansion pass. And that includes the Outlaw Tribe Nemesis expansion, includes the Slaughter Tribe Nemesis expansion. And if you see that, that's $16 right there. And it's mostly negative reviews, but I mean, it's really a great deal. So just get the definitive edition. It's only a couple dollars more, or 2,000 won if you're in Korea. And it's a great deal to pick that up. Very good game. I love it. 94% positive reviews. If you like those beat 'em up, stab 'em up type games, highly, highly recommend it. Going back to the main page here. And it does refresh and does move things around a little bit, so you notice that XCOM is not up here anymore. Yeah, moving on. Some of the others, like Pillars of Eternity Part 1. If you like those kind of, doesn't have to be turn-based, but it could be with a pause, like a pausable real-time RPG style game. Pillars of Eternity 1 was a really good game, and then here is the Pillars of Eternity Part 2. And you can actually get the bundle right here. It looks like it's kind of expensive, the definitive edition. But if you're into those kinds of things, it's something you might want to check out. It says turn-based mode, so it does have that option. It has automatic pausable things. You make a party. It's got a really great story if you're into those kinds of things. You make different classes. You run around. If you think it's kind of like Diablo in that way, but you control a whole party, single player. Great game. I have not played 2 yet, but it is on my wish list. Okay, and of course there's many other good deals. If you make your wish list, one of the things you can do is scroll up here. I have not logged in, but you can click on your wish list. It'll be right here above the search bar, and it'll tell you all of the deals that you're going to get if you know on all the games that you're following here. All their different franchises have discounts. The Shadow Warrior franchise, for example, and you can see they've got 75% off those games. The Call of Duty franchise. Here you can see the different discounts as well. You can scroll through and see all the different ones. Batman franchise, another beat 'em up style game with a really good story if you like it. Batman and superheroes. Civilization is a pretty fun turn-based game. You can tell I like turn-based stuff. I don't really show those much on my channel, but I am into those quite a bit. Metal Gear Solid, 60% off. Good deals there. The Witcher coming out with a Netflix show, so this is a good time to get it. I don't know, I didn't really get into Witcher 1, but for like $1.50 or just 1,501, I don't know that I can't recommend getting that. The Witcher 2 is also just $3, and that one is a highly raved review. And then the newer one, Witcher 3, is out as well, so you can check those out. The Endless franchise, Endless Space, is a really good game if you like space, turn-based strategy and things. That's good. Sudden Strike, I haven't played this for years, but I have heard good things. You can see mostly positive reviews for that, and it has a lot of good DLC if you like World War II real-time strategy games. Gal Civ, Galactic Civilization 3, also 2 is pretty cheap right now. If you like those space turn-based ones. Moving down a little bit here. I'm just letting you look through the stuff. I highly recommend a lot of the, if you go back to, highly recommend going back to some of the older titles that were really famous 3 or 4 years ago. Doesn't challenge your new PCs. Not everyone's got a brand new, awesome PC. So being able to go back and check out some of the older games, some things you may have missed, you never even knew existed, you're going to get great deals on those things. If you're interested in certain things, like we were looking at the Fallout, for example, it should give you some recommendations for those, especially if you add that into your wish list. They'll get a better idea of what you want, and it'll promote games and things that you might be interested in. If you go down, then it just shows like the top sellers. Grand Theft Auto, 50% off. For $16, it's hard to beat Grand Theft Auto. Such a great series. You can get the older ones cheap as well. Sekiro here is a newer game that came out, and again, highly well received. I have not played it. I'm very much looking forward to playing it. Stardew Valley. Now, if you're not so much into fighting and monster, killing all over the place and turn-based strategy, and you just want to sit down and relax, maybe, build a house, farm, have a little bit of RPG elements, Stardew Valley is a really super awesome game, and you can see the reviews here, overwhelmingly positive. It's not going to be challenging to your laptops or your older PCs. It's got a great story. You go around, you harvest you plant, you harvest crops, you go mine, you meet the town folk, you give them gifts. I had a really good time with this game. You could spend hours and hours and hours just building up your farm and making friends with the townspeople, going to the different events because they've got festivals and things you can attend, and it's a very cute and interesting little game there. Oh, scrolling down here, as I said, I'm very much partial to the turn-based games. So here you can see the Total War 3 Kingdoms it just recently came out. It's going to be a little bit expensive, for 20% off, 48,000. They're going to have some DLC that's coming out and that's already out. So if you're really getting the full experience, you're probably going to want to get the DLC if you really like it. But you don't have to buy it off the bat. I would say get the base game. But again, this is a Chinese, the China, and there's you can see from the video there a little bit that you're fighting in the Three Kingdoms in China, and I really love that Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I'm sure that if you are interested in those things, you'd like that too. But if you haven't experienced the Total War games before, I would recommend going back to maybe Shogun 2 or Rome. Shogun 2 you're going to get really cheap, or Rome 2, which is a little bit older. There's a lot of DLC for Rome 2. Those are really good games that came out a few years ago, and they're going to be much cheaper right now. And then if you're more into fantasy style, you might want to check out Warhammer Total War 1 and 2. Those have a lot of DLC with them as well, so you could actually be paying quite a bit over time. However, I still recommend it. If you like a campaign turn-based map that has real-time tactical battles, and for an epic saga-style story, these are great games. Of course, Resident Evil 2, super famous. Great game as well. Roguelike games, where if you know what those are, your main characters can die, or your characters that you bring in can die, and you train new ones and so on. Those are also something I like a lot. The Darkest Dungeon is a really interesting story with poetic elements. And think of you make a party and you go into a dungeon and fight monsters, but your guys can actually go mad from fighting them and being scared in the dungeon. And when they go mad, they can actually have phobias that come about that you have to try to treat. They can do heroic moments where they suddenly get super powerful, or they could break down and start just like babbling to themselves or something and scaring your other party members. Cool game. I should end up making at least a video or two on that one down the road. Going back here. Planet Coaster is a newer game that came out. That came out a few years ago. That's right. But they've been updating it quite a bit. So I keep hearing about updates. And if you like roller coaster sims or making your own theme park, you might want to check that one out. Digital tabletop games, if you like board games, there's hack and slash things, adventure. You can scroll through all of their different style. Sports games are always good if you're into sports. I definitely like these kinds of things. PES 2020 football here, eFootball. They have some trouble with keeping their fans happy in more recent times. It actually says free. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe they're offering a demo or something. eFootball. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But anyway, NBA 2K20, if you like basketball. These are the new ones that come out. If you don't like those kinds of sports, they also have baseball and so on. There's a lot of different sports out there. FIFA and so on are some of the most famous ones for soccer, which I also like a lot. City building games, if you're into those, military, role-playing, action. There's all kinds of stuff that's out there, and it's hard to go through all of it. I'm just trying to bring your attention to just a few of the great deals that are out there. Popular new releases. Now, the newer stuff is not going to be as cheap, but you can see some of the deals are still. One of the new games that has just come out in Star Wars is being released in the world right now. However, where I'm at, it's not coming out for a little bit longer. So I'm pretty excited to see the ending of this trilogy, and I think that the Star Wars Jedi The Fallen Order is, if you're into Star Wars, I've heard good things. I haven't played it, but it's definitely on my wish list. There's so many things here that you can check out, and I mean, even if you're not that interested in games, you might find something really cheap that you might want to toy with. And I tend to think that if you're going to spend about an hour playing, then it's worth $1. And if you're going to spend, say, 15 hours playing a game, for example, XCOM is going to have a great long story to it. If you're going to put in the time, $15, it equates to me about 15 hours, and that's about what I would think would be a really good deal. I mean, if you think you go out for a cup of coffee, you're going to spend, $3 to $5 if you're going to get something from Starbucks, and you're only going to sit there for 30 minutes. Or if you go to a movie theater, you might spend closer to $8 to $10. In those cases, the movie only lasts an hour. But I think $1 an hour is a pretty good deal. So if you think that there's something you might play for a while, check it out. And then you've got these super good deals of $1.70 or here 1,700 won. You can't go wrong checking it out, and especially if you see the reviews, and if it's something that you're really interested in, you can see the user tags below there that choices matter. It's story rich. If you like a good story, Life is Strange 2 might be something you're interested in. Yeah, so check out the Steam sale. It's going. It's one of the most popular events in the digital computer games, and since I'm running a gaming channel, I thought I'd bring it to your attention. Thanks for coming today. I hope you guys all have a happy holiday and a good vacation. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. All these holidays coming up. Make sure that you don't eat too much sweet things and make yourself sick, right? That's your advice from your professor who is going a little bit overboard on these holidays because of the great foods that are coming out. Give the advice that I don't follow, right? Anyway, I hope you guys get some good Christmas presents, or have some great donuts during Hanukkah, or at the very least you set some good New Year's resolutions to shed the pounds or get back into the gym, or at the very least make some good peaceful resolutions to make peace with your families during the new year, and have a great holiday. Thanks for watching. See you next time.